Philip, thanks for joining us this week. Some of our past guests that we've had have had some unique jobs before they became college football coaches. Manny Diaz was a college reporter. Pat Fitzgerald told advertising for a sports talk radio show that, hey, you topped them all. You worked in the oil fields of Texas when you were 15. What was that experience like?
It was a great experience. It was one of those things that didn't know any different at the time, and so I met a lot of great people out there. But it just provided me with the opportunity to understand what hard work's all about. Getting up early, going to work every day, and putting in a full day and doing it again the next day. So I think it instilled a lot of those values that my parents were already trying to instill in me. And if you're going to do a job, do it right the first time, and be dedicated to it.
So Tulsa has been one of the most impacted teams with postponements and cancellations, Philip. How in the world do you guys deal with that on a weekly basis, and what's the key to moving forward each week?
Well, I got to give credit to our coaches and to our players. They've done an outstanding job of just rolling with the punches. We started talking about this in June and how the virus was probably going to have some effect on our season, some effect on our fall camp. There were going to be a lot of things that were out of our control, and our focus needed to stay within those boundaries of control the things that we can control. And that was our mental preparation, our physical conditioning, and preparing ourselves to be locked in each and every week to go 1-0. Didn't know it was going to be quite this dramatic as we worked our way through the season, but our players and our coaches have done a really good job of just being focused. And as those cancellations came about, obviously frustration and disappointment, yet our guys did a really good job of turning the page, moving on to the next one. We adjusted schedules quite often, and nobody freaked out about it. And that was the biggest part, is just trying to maintain focus and intensity as we went through it.
Look, I'm someone that frequently procrastinates, so I fully appreciate all of your last-minute heroics. And 4 of your 5 victories, you guys have come from behind to win by 14 points. How have you guys thrived in those late-game situations?
Again, I think it's just this is a special group of young men that have really bonded like no other group maybe that we've had. And these guys believe in each other. They believe in the confidence that they have in their own abilities, but also the confidence in all 3 phases to make things happen. And, our defense has played outstanding all year. Offensively, we've played really well at times and got off slow at times, and special teams kind of in that same boat. So, for us, I think it's just we have great leadership in our locker room. We've got guys that believe in each other. We've built our program to play for a 60-minute game, and we're going to play every second of that. I think our guys have just locked into that point, and now they're just making the plays to give us the opportunity to come out ahead in those games.
Your linebacker, Zaven Collins, is the best player in college football no one knows about. He's been named National Defensive Player of the Year 3 times, and you've played 6 games. What makes him so unique, Philip?
He's just got a unique skill set. Let's start with, he was either the valedictorian or salutatorian of his little small town here in Oklahoma, but still a very intelligent kid, a kid that's very hungry to prove himself. He's got some God-given ability that he has come here and worked extremely hard to improve. You got to understand, he was a quarterback and a free safety in high school, played every sport. And, he's only been playing linebacker now for a few years. And so he's still learning the position, but obviously he's a fast learner. He's a guy that he's big, he can run, he trusts his keys, he plays fast, and he puts himself in positions to make plays throughout the game, not just late game heroics, but throughout the game. And he can affect an offense in a lot of different ways. And he'll be the first one to tell you we've got a lot of good players around him that allow him to really play at an elite level and continue to push him to do that.
Even with all the disruptions, Tulsa is 5-0 in the American Conference. You have matched the number of conference wins that you had the previous 3 years combined. You've had a number of comebacks. You went with a third-string quarterback. in your last win. What has been the key to this year's turnaround?
Again, I think it's our leadership in our locker room. I think it's the belief in our players. This year, that's been the difference. It's been guys stepping up, making plays at big times throughout that, and just the belief and the confidence to be able to go out there and do that.
So there were 5 coaches in the previous 16 years at Tulsa before your arrival. And the job was generally seen, Philip, as a stepping stone to a bigger gig or a tombstone to the end of your career. You've been there now 6 years. How have you made it so stable there?
Well, fortunately, we had a couple of really good seasons early. We struggled here in the middle, and I think we're back where we want to be, and our program is continuing to build. I got to give credit to our administration for allowing me the time to allow us to build and grow. I think our players have bought into our program and what we want to do. I think our recruiting has been outstanding, and we continue to keep building. The American Conference is such a tough conference from top to bottom, and we had to get our roster in a position to allow us to really play at that level. The administration gave me enough time to get that done, and guys are now performing at the level that they need to. And, for me, my family's here. My son goes to school here. My daughter goes to school here. And we're just not that group of, coaches or families that are, pick up and move every couple of years. We like to be able to go in, build, establish, and create some roots, and we've been able to do that here.